Good morning, and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host.
Good morning and welcome back to the Farm and Home Show. My name is Kristin Hildebrand and I'll be your host today. And joining back with us is Dr. Rachel Rudolph. She's our Extension Vegetable Specialist with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I always enjoy having you come on because you always have something interesting to bring.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. And one of those interesting things that you're going to talk to us about today is about ground cherries.
Yes. So people often, they can be a weed. So maybe some people are a little concerned. Oh,
Sure.
We're going to talk about weeds today, but this is actually a crop, a vegetable crop, or it's a specialty crop, let's say.
Yeah, it's an edible crop. It's kind of a fairly new crop.
Well, it's been around. It's native to the Americas, so
Okay.
it's new to Kentucky maybe as a potential specialty crop that you could actually sell. Probably at a farmer's market would be the best location for it. But it's a relative, it's in the solanaceous family, so it's in the Nightshade family. It's a relative to the tomato. It's in the same genus as tomatillos, so maybe some of the viewers are a little bit more familiar with the tomatillo used for making green salsa. And it looks very similar to a tomatillo.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit more about the plant. I know you said it was in the Nightshade family.
So yes, so here we go. We have here's the plant immature. So ground cherry, it gets its name because the fruit falls to the ground when they're ripe. But they are pretty low growing when they start out, so that might also be part of the name. So they kind of creep. And then here we have a more mature plant, and you can see the little flower here. They're very small. They're really beautiful little flowers, and you can see the developing fruit right here.
Kind of reminds me the flower of okra. Is it kind of white? Or is
It's
it more
a yellow with a little purple ring around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting how it grows. And you said it's very low growing as well.
It starts out low growing. So I should preface this with, when we started these trials, there's really no information out there, like good extension related information about how much, the nutrient requirements, the growth habit, does it need trellising? There's really not a lot of information out there. So that was kind of part of the plan, was to figure out what kind of recommendations we would make if we were to, recommend this plant for people to grow.
Yeah.
And so it turns out it's not very low growing. It actually does need trellising. We treated it kind of like a tomato or a pepper as far as the nutrient requirements, and that seemed to work out okay. But it got pretty tall. And then, so as I said, when the fruit ripen, they ripen on the plant, and they're in a husk. So and the husk will dry out and kind of turn like a light yellow and be papery, really thin papery. And then this is what the fruit looks like outside of the husk. So it'll fall to the ground in its husk, so it's protected. So if it touches soil, it's still protected by the husk, and then you pick it up and it's ripe. That's when you know it's ripe.
That's when you know it's ripe. Now, talk to us about some of the varieties that y'all have had, because probably the fruit can be different tasting based on the variety.
Yeah, so we tried 4 different commercially available varieties, and they had kind of slightly different flavors. The one I liked the best, it was called pineapple. And so it had a little bit of, what I like about ground cherry is it was kind of tropical tasting. They're all kind of tropical tasting. They're on the sweet side. They look, as you can see, they look kind of like a tiny tomato.
They do,
right?
like
or a grape or something like that. But really we were looking also at fruit quality. And so we looked at soluble solids, total soluble solids, and what we found last year was it was about 12%, or 12 bricks, excuse me. So that's pretty sweet, actually, when you compare that to a raspberry or something, where you would associate pretty sweetness, fairly sweet. That's pretty comparable, actually. So raspberry can be 12, 13, 14, and the ground cherries were in the 11s, 12s.
How might producers, I know you said farmers markets, this is a good crop for people to consider, but how would you prepare a ground cherry?
We've talked about this before, and you actually put me onto a really good recipe that I tried. So muffins, they were in muffins, and they worked out really well. I cut them in half, and I put them in muffins. Pastries, preserves,
Salsas even.
salsas, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rachel, we really appreciate you bringing this information to us today. And if you have any questions about growing ground cherries here in Kentucky, give your local extension office a call. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here more tomorrow for more at Farm and Home.
If you have questions about today's topic, please call the Warren County Extension Office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.